Check it out. Uncle Ollie must love books. Look at all of them. I don't think I've ever seen so many in one place. This one must be one of his favorites. In 1945, the famous composer Benjamin Britten was asked by the British Ministry of Education to write a piece of music that would teach children about the instruments in the symphony orchestra. The music was to go with a movie called Instruments of the Orchestra. With or without the movie, Britten's music has become a classic. Not only is it a favorite way to teach about instruments, but it is also a great piece of music to listen to. One of England's most famous composers, Benjamin Britten, was born on November 22, 1913. Britten first fell in love with music listening to his mother, who was a singer. By the age of 5, he was already composing. Throughout his childhood, he loved to write music, often writing before breakfast. He also loved math and playing cricket. When he was only 11 years old, a famous composer named Frank Bridge started working with Britten. Bridge taught the young composer many of the composing skills he would use later in life. Britten wrote some of the most well-known pieces of the 20th century. They include The Young Person's Guide to the Orchestra, Ceremony of Carols, War Requiem, and the operas Peter Grimes and Billy Budd. Unlike some famous composers, Britten was lucky enough to be highly respected during his lifetime. He won many awards, including a medal from the United States Library of Congress. Benjamin Britten died on December 4, 1976, just days after his 73rd birthday. Hello?
Violet, my favorite niece.
Uncle Ollie, it's you. You'll never guess where I am. Your library.
And you, my young adventurous flower, will never guess where I am. And what I've just found, I'm in the jungle on safari.
Safari?
I've been walking for days, and I've just stumbled across the most amazingly delightful, lovely thing. The remains of a real, honest-to-goodness symphony orchestra stage.
A stage? In the jungle?
Yes, a stage for a symphony orchestra.
A symphony orchestra? That's what I was just reading about in your library. Some old dead guy from England named Ben Britten. It says that this Ben guy wrote a piece of music, The Young Person's Guide to the Orchestra, for kids at school to teach them about the symphony orchestra. But hey, didn't you once tell me that symphony orchestras were all dead and stuff?
Alas, my beautiful begonia, you weren't even born when last I heard an orchestra. I was with your dear, now dead Aunt Lucretia.
May she rest in peace.
It was a sound...
For sore ears? Yeah, look, this is all very nice, but if we could just make this quick...
Of course, darling, but you know, Violet, my daisy, I wonder, it just might be possible to bring this place back to life.
What, the stage? Wouldn't we need all of the instruments to do that?
Precisely, my adventure guide extraordinaire. And that's where you come in, for it just so happens that the instruments are scattered throughout the jungle. How would you like to collect one of each and bring them all to me at the stage?
Well, I guess I could try, but Uncle Ollie, I don't really know my way around this particular jungle. And then, what about the instruments? I mean, I've never seen any of them before. How would I even recognize them?
But darling girl, the answer is right in front of you. The book, The Young Person's Guide to the Orchestra, tells you everything you could ever want to know about the orchestra and its instruments.
Hey, Uncle Ollie, so it does. There's actually a page right here that shows a diagram of a symphony orchestra stage. I wonder what would happen if I just press...
Buffer's much better, and we see what would happen when you press it. So you got to hear the theme going on for this piece.
We'll start with the woodwinds. I believe it's the green section, my orchid. Just press it and you can hear them play the same theme that the entire orchestra just played.
That was pretty cool. But why are they called woodwinds?
Oh, that's easy, my little water lily. Many of the woodwind family are made of wood, and players use their wind, their breath, to play them.
Aha, makes sense. Wood, wind, woodwind.
Because they have flash, that what you just saw, I really used to love using that in class, but now it's like this because there's no flash and you can get to hear clips of how they sound. I'll play short clips. They're going through the range, and remember in a lesson way back when, we know that the range is the highest to the lowest note that a voice or instrument can sing or play. Here's the bassoon. It's the biggest. It's clarinet. These three are reed instruments. These are double reeds, and the clarinet is a single reed. And now the flute. And the piccolo. Remember, the smaller the instrument, the higher the pitch.
Okay, which family sits in the yellow section?
That would be the brass family. Players also blow into these instruments, but they have a totally different sound. They are made of...
Wait, let me guess.
Can you guess?
Brass.
Yeah.
Then why aren't they called the brass winds?
Oh, good question. Such a quick study. A chip off the old block. No, we just call them the brass family. Now, press the yellow section, my daffodil, and you can hear how they sound playing that same familiar theme.
Very majestic. I like that one.
Majestic, yes. I like that word.
So let's hear them individually. French horn. So you hear the different timbres of each instrument. Trumpet, which is the smallest and highest pitch. If you want to hear the whole range, go to Carnegie Hall, Listening Adventures.
Now, the next family, my tulip, is quite different, but you will like them all the same. It's the string family. As you may guess, their sound comes from vibrating
strings.
Bravo, my pretty peony! Press the pink section to hear them.
Totally different, but awesome too.
String bass or double bass. You hear the whole range. Those long strings. You can tell the strings are getting shorter because the pitch is getting higher. It has a huge range.
I can hardly wait to hear The last family.
And so you shall, my cornflower. Drum roll, please. Meet the percussion family.
Okay,
So we already know.
that sounded like cool things banging. Lots of different ones.
Good ear, my dear. Yes, and get this. All the members of this family are played by either striking, scraping, or shaking, or as you so vividly put it, banging.
Now, in this family, you're going to have pitched, which uses, how you had just finished learning about the bass clef and the treble clef. You do have some that are pitched that are using those. You have some that are unpitched, as if hitting on a tabletop. You can also divide these up into woods, membranes, and metals. So these are castanets. They're made of wood. You play them by striking them together, clicking them together, so they're striking. They're not pitched, so they're unpitched. Now, this tambourine happens to have a membrane, so that way you can strike it. It's a membrane in a metal, because the rattles are metal. You can shake the rattles, or you can scrape the rattles. It is unpitched. Bass drum is considered a membrane because it has a skin on which you hit, and it is unpitched. Snare drum. It is a membrane, and this one is considered a membrane, and you strike and it scrapes because it has metal. There's metal snares on the bottom. When you strike the top, the snares scrape the bottom to give it its distinct sound. All of these are unpitched. But now we have timpani, which are also known as kettle drum. It's a membrane and it's pitched. You have to have at least two. You usually see at least two when you see these being played, and they are playing specific notes. A xylophone is also pitched. Its keys are wood or fiberglass, and the keyboard is like that of a piano. So that's how you know what notes to play. You strike both of these, a membrane and a wood. Cymbals are a metal that you can strike or scrape. The theme repeated with the rhythm that is playing. A gong is metal and you strike it. You don't scrape it. Both of these are unpitched. Triangle is metal and you strike it with the beater. Woodblock is wood and you strike. These last three are unpitched. This is called a whip. There's another instrument similar to it called a slapstick, and it's wood and you strike it together, and it's unpitched.